Hello there. The lighting really sucks. Why is that, you may wonder? I don't know how to turn this lamp on. Oh, well, learn something new every day, right? Like, for example, don't stare into the sun. This is an entirely unscripted video, and you may wonder, why am I dressed up then? Well, it's not for the video actually. And why does it sound so scripted? Well, that's because I turn on my freaking video voice and suddenly it sounds like I've planned everything, although I have not, I assure you. I was meditating a few minutes ago. I've fallen off completely from meditation, so I tried it first time for like almost 2-3 weeks. Well, during my Jedi Master meditation, I had a thought. I know you're not supposed to have those while meditating, right? Well, it caught my interest, and I'd like to make this video because of it. I need to discuss it. I need to talk to the camera for a bit. So if you don't know, I have probably not put out that video yet, but I've been on a journey for the last 6-7 months, around that time, of what you could call self-improvement, I guess. And that can mean a lot of things, but basically it started off as a project for my physical health. Last summer actually, so a bit earlier, I was supposed to start meditating, start getting habits in overall. That's when I graduated high school, so that's why I started to plan things on my own, you know. Went great, started going to the gym, everything worked fine, until a few shitty things happened at the end of that summer. That was really heavy for me. And thereafter, the mission became to heal myself. And basically, that's what I've done ever since. At this point, I'm way past the healing phase where I'm really, you know, not functioning normally. I used to have a lot of trouble eating the right amount of calories for even living for a day. I wasn't training anymore, I wasn't having any habits. I broke my hand as well, so I had an excuse for it maybe. But it's taken a lot of time, and I'd say in many ways I've completely triumphed. I'm weighing a lot more than ever before, which has been my goal, so that's a good thing. I'm training a lot, I'm making progress in the gym, like actual progress, and it's really fun to experience that for the first time. I have a lot new hobbies. I've gotten further in all the hobbies, like making these videos right here. So everything is going upwards. But some things happened the last month, I'd say. And I think it might be an effect of me making self-improvement into my comfort zone. Now that might sound quite weird, alright, stay with me here. This is not a critique against self-improvement, but I think this might be a critique to the kind of self-improvement that I did. I guess that I got kind of comfortable in my little bubble. You know, you do the same things every day, most of the time. You do the same things every day. You get really good at it. So much so that you might get a bit dependent on it. I think one of the best examples are calories, counting calories. That's something I'm doing now. And I honestly really like it. I like to see the progress I make. I know I won't reach over the bar every day, and that's all right. But I love to know how much I eat every day. And I'm using an app, so I get quite accurate results. I can scan what I'm eating and put in the weight and everything. So it's a great app, Lifesum, if you know what that is. Very useful. But I guess there is a downside to everything. So sometimes when I don't quite reach those goals because of maybe I'm doing something a bit scary that day and I don't have lots of appetite, you know, that always happens at some point. That can bring a lot of shame, like make it so much worse that you can't eat. And here's the thing I wanted to get to. I've always been an anxious person. Sometimes more than other times. But usually when there's trouble in my life, I get really anxious. When I was in school, it manifested in that I didn't go to school because it was easier to just stay at home. Maybe even do the work there, but as long as I was home in my comfortable little bubble, it wouldn't matter. Yeah, well, school is the best example. And I guess somehow, because I've been so closed into this journey of mine, now when I've sort of completed it, not at all completed it, but really started progressing for real, I've started to realize when I go into the real world, I'm so anxious. Like, oh my God, it makes me a bit ashamed to say this out loud. A few weeks ago, I sat my ass down on a train to go to a nearby town. I live in a small town, and then there's a bigger town quite near. So that's how I've been growing up. I go there when I want to hang out with friends and when I want to go shopping or different activities. That's when you go to the bigger town with a train that takes 10 minutes. Now, I've done this with no issues for years. I went to school in that different town, so I went like that every day for 3 years. I can tell you, a few weeks ago, I sat down on that train. I was shaking my boots off all the way there. When I stood up to walk out of the train, I nearly fainted. Because it was like all of my energy drained through those 10 minutes of sitting on the train. I've never passed out before. I've never fainted in my life. And this is how the first time goes. I mean, it might sound dramatic, but what I'm trying to say is, damn, anxiety is scary stuff. Although there are many ways to handle it. And I'm on a great journey to fixing that right now. I'm actually in that bigger town now. I've made that journey a few times every week now. I've tried to, it's exposure therapy, basically. I'm doing that now. I'm realizing there's a lot more anxiety inside me at the moment. A lot of old unsolved stuff that comes up as well. So it's interesting to go through this, but I know it's necessary. I'm moving here actually in just a month, so that's also a possible explanation. There's a lot on my plate now, so it's not weird that I'm quite anxious right now. It's very bad timing. That's quite irritating. I guess this is some kind of a little warning, perhaps, to the people who also are on some journeys of improving themselves. Now, I want to be very clear. I'm not here to tell you that improving on yourself is bad, not by a long shot. Just make sure that you beware of how comfortable you are with your situation. Because the more comfortable you are, I think it's super great to have comfort in those things, because usually when you start these journeys, you're not comfortable with going to the gym, you're not comfortable with doing these different things. When you find comfort in it, you know it's healthy, then you feel like you don't really need to do anything else. And suddenly, a few months into it, you realize, oh, I can't leave this bubble anymore. My knees start shaking when I walk outside of this bubble. I get stressed out. I can't eat anymore. something snapped, something inside of me. Oh, I need to keep a level head, and I need to... Well, the hardest thing for me, when I get anxious, the hardest thing for me is to eat. So I've been struggling with that. I have my little tips and tricks for it. So I'm working through it. It's going great. I'm going out with a few friends now. I've been a bit anxious about that, but meditating certainly helped. Doing this, I think this helped as well. That's all. I know I'm doing a lot of scripted videos right now, so this might be kind of a downgrade, but I'm proud of it. Because I had an idea and I made that idea real in 2 minutes. I mean 10 minutes actually, 11 even. Well, this was the quick message at 11 minutes. Hope you're having a great time. Next video will be out 2074.